Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this from the heart. Not everything you're going through needs to be broadcasted to the world. Not everyone you know needs to know everything you do. In a time when it feels natural to open up every detail of your life, I'm here to tell you something different. Something powerful, something that might just change the way you move forward from this moment on. Stop telling people what's going on in your life. I get it. You want to share. You want to feel seen. You want someone to say, I get it, I'm proud of you, you're doing great. But here's the truth, not everyone will clap for you when you win. Not everyone will pray for you when you're low. And sometimes the ones you think are cheering you on are secretly hoping you fall. When you share too much, you give people the blueprint to your soul, and not everyone has earned the right to hold it. There's something beautiful, something powerful about keeping some things just for you. When you guard your peace, you protect your progress. When you choose silence, you stop inviting chaos. Because let's be real, every time you open your mouth to explain, to justify, to update, you give someone an opening to critique, to question, to insert doubt where there was once clarity. And that doubt, it sneaks in slowly. Maybe they say something subtle, a backhanded compliment. Or maybe they ask a question that shakes your confidence just enough to stall your momentum. That's not you. That's not what you need. You don't need constant validation. You need commitment. You need space to grow without commentary. You need to look in the mirror and say, I know where I'm going, and I don't need applause along the way. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means strength. It means you're focused. It means your head is down, your work is in motion, and your energy is protected. Your healing, your hustle, your comeback, it's not a public performance. It's sacred, and sacred things, they grow best in quiet places. Think about a seed. You don't see its roots pushing through the soil. That's hidden, that's silent, but it's necessary. It's how it becomes strong enough to break through the surface. So don't be afraid to hold things close to your chest. Don't be scared to let people wonder. Let them ask, let them assume, let them speculate, and while they're doing all that, you stay locked in, you stay growing. You stay rising, because here's the reality. Your results will speak louder than any update you post. Your glow will say more than your words ever could. That transformation, it's undeniable. That peace in your eyes. That confidence in your step. That's not something you can explain, that's something you become. And hear this clearly, not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Some people only want a front row view to your struggle, but they don't want to help you climb. They want the tea, not the testimony. So stop handing out backstage passes to people who only come to gossip about your journey. Reclaim your privacy, reclaim your power. You don't owe anyone a play of your pain or a diary entry about your dreams. The people who matter, they'll respect the silence, they'll trust your timing, they'll see your light without needing an explanation, and the ones who don't, let them wonder. You're not being secretive. You're being selective, you're not hiding, you're healing, you're not distant, you're dedicated, and when you finally show up with everything you've been working for, they'll see why you were so quiet. They'll understand why you didn't post every move, every win, every loss. You are the author of your life, and some chapters are not meant to be read aloud. Some pages are just for you, your lessons, your battles, your late night tears, and a morning prayers. That's your sacred space, protect it, because when you stop telling everyone what's going on in your life, you stop giving them power over it, and when you do that truly, fearlessly do that, you become unstoppable. So take a breath, pull back if you need to. Let your silence do the heavy lifting. The world doesn't need your story before it's finished. Let them witness the masterpiece, not the sketch. And remember, just because you're not saying much doesn't mean you're not doing much. You're rising quietly, boldly, powerfully, and that, right there, that's how legends are made. Protect your peace by guarding your privacy in a world where oversharing is the norm. Protecting your peace by guarding your privacy becomes an act of rebellion, a radical form of self-love. We live in a culture that glorifies transparency, where every meal, every milestone, every heartbreak is broadcasted for the world to see. But while sharing can feel therapeutic in the moment, we must pause and ask ourselves, at what cost? Your life is not a reality show. You don't owe anyone a behind. The scenes pass to your every thought, plan, or struggle. Not everyone deserves to know what's going on in your world. Some people don't want to see you succeed. They just want to stay close enough to keep track of how fast you're moving, or to whisper doubt when you start gaining traction. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's protection. It's choosing to keep sacred what's still in progress. When you keep your goals, your plans, your personal battles close to your chest, you create a boundary, one that keeps your energy safe, your spirit grounded, and your vision clear. Without that boundary, you open yourself to a flood of noise opinions that drown out your intuition, criticism that chips away at your courage, and expectations that were never yours to carry in the first place. It's not just about avoiding drama, it's about guarding your mental space. Every time you share a vulnerable detail with the wrong person, you risk inviting energy that doesn't align with your growth. You might feel a temporary release in talking about your struggles or your dreams, but if the listener isn't truly for you, if they carry envy, judgment, or shallow curiosity, you'll walk away feeling more drained than empowered. That's the emotional tax of oversharing. It's real and it's expensive. Now think about your peace, that calm, steady inner stillness. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. You have to build it, nurture it, and guard it like a treasure. When you protect your privacy, you create an environment where peace can thrive. You stop inviting unnecessary drama into your circle. You stop letting the wrong voices echo inside your head. You stop seeking validation from people who couldn't even handle what you're building. Guarding your privacy doesn't mean shutting people out. It means being intentional about who you let in. It means sharing with those who have proven they can be trusted with your truth. People who don't just listen, they support. People who don't just nod, they pray. People who don't just respond, they hold space. These are the ones who deserve a glimpse into your journey. Everyone else, let them see the results when they're ready. There's also tremendous freedom in not having to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your choices, your pace, your priorities. When you're constantly narrating your life to others, you're living for their reaction. But when you keep things private, you start living for your own alignment. You move based on what feels right, not what sounds impressive. And here's the thing. Real peace, real power, real transformation, it rarely happens out loud. It happens in the quiet moments when you're choosing growth over gossip, healing over headlines, stillness over noise. You don't need the world to witness your process. Let them witness your becoming. Let them feel the shift when you walk into a room, not because you told them, but because your energy said everything they needed to know. So protect your peace with everything you have. Guard your privacy like it's sacred, because it is. The less people know, the less they can interfere. The less you share, the more you hear your own voice. And when you stay true to yourself, undistracted by outside opinions, you gain something priceless: clarity, confidence, and the kind of peace that doesn't need to be posted to be real. Privacy isn't silence, it's strength, and that strength will carry you farther than 1,000 conversations ever could. Silence is power. We live in a world that's loud. A world where people feel the need to explain themselves constantly, what they're doing, why they're doing it, how far they've come, and where they're going next, and for what: applause, approval, attention. But what if I told you that your greatest power isn't in the noise you make, it's in the silence you keep? Silence is misunderstood. It's often mistaken for weakness, secrecy, or avoidance. But those who truly understand growth, deep, meaningful, personal growth, know that silence is strength. Because silence is not the absence of action, it's the presence of intention. It's the discipline to move without needing validation. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't need to tell you what I'm doing, you'll see it when it's done. There is a sacred kind of power that builds when you stop explaining and start executing, When you stop posting every small win and start stacking victories in private, when you stop seeking sympathy and start seeking solutions. Real progress doesn't scream for attention, it builds in the background, hidden from the world, protected from the opinions of those who neither understand your purpose nor respect your path. Think of it like this: when a storm is brewing, nature goes quiet. The birds stop singing, the wind stills, the air shifts. That silence doesn't mean nothing is happening, it means everything is happening. Something powerful is about to be unleashed, and your life is no different. When you go silent, when you pull back, when you stop oversharing, people may assume you're idle. Let them, because while they're busy watching for updates, you're building something they can't yet see. And when you resurface, you won't need to announce a thing. Your results will walk into the room before you do. Silence also protects your vision. Every dream, every goal, every step forward is delicate in its early stages. Like a flame, it can be blown out by the wrong breath, a careless comment, a doubting glance, a judgmental tone. When you keep your goals to yourself, you give them the space to grow strong before you present them to the world. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because let's face it, not everyone understands what you're doing. Some won't even try, and others, they'll pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. The more you talk, the more access you give them. The more you reveal, the more influence they gain over your energy. But when you stay silent, you hold the power, you dictate the narrative. You decide what gets in and what stays out. And there's more. Silence isn't just strategic, it's healing. In the quiet, you hear your own thoughts. You get clear on what matters. You start to separate what's true for you from what you've been told to believe. In silence, you reconnect with your instincts, your intuition, your purpose. You stop performing and start aligning. You stop reacting and start creating. That is the kind of power no spotlight can give you and no crowd can take away. So let them wonder, let them guess, let them ask questions you never answer. While they're distracted by your silence, you'll be mastering your craft, becoming the version of yourself they never saw coming. Because silence isn't emptiness, it's focus, it's strength, it's presence, and in that silence you become unstoppable. When your voice returns, when you finally speak, the world will listen, not because you raised your volume, but because your silence gave your words weight. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, let's be honest. We all want to be understood. We all want to feel seen, celebrated, supported. But here's the hard truth: not everyone is meant to walk with you through every chapter of your life. And not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Your table, your life, your energy, your inner world is sacred. You cannot afford to hand out invitations to just anyone who comes around with a smile and a shallow compliment. One of the most powerful things you can learn on your path to growth is discernment, the ability to recognize who's really for you and who's just around you, because the two are not the same. Some people only show up when you're down, not to lift you up, but to feed off your pain. It makes them feel better about their own situation. They pretend to care, but they thrive in the chaos of your vulnerability. And others, they only come alive when you're succeeding, not because they're proud of you, but because they're trying to stay close enough to benefit from your shine. They'll call it support, they'll mask it as friendship, but deep down, there's no real loyalty, no genuine love, just convenience, just curiosity, and sometimes quiet envy. You must understand that your life is a sacred space. Your ideas, your dreams, your plans, your personal battles, they deserve to be held with care, not handled carelessly by people who don't honor their weight. When you let the wrong people too close, they plant seeds of doubt where there should be confidence. They distract you from your mission. They drain your energy with their gossip, their drama, their small-mindedness, and worse, they slow your pace, protect your space the way you'd protect a home under construction. You wouldn't let random people walk through the blueprint of your future, touching things they don't understand. You wouldn't give someone access to the foundation you're still laying, so why do it with your life? It's okay to love people from a distance. It's okay to let go of those who no longer align with the direction you're headed. It's not cold. It's not cruel. It's necessary. Growth demands that you be intentional not just with what you do, but with who you do it around. You don't owe anyone a seat at your table just because they've known you the longest, or because they say the right things. Proximity doesn't equal purpose. Length of time doesn't equal loyalty. Here's what you must remember: your energy is your currency. And the people you keep around you either invest in it or they rob you blind. If they don't add peace, passion, purpose, or positivity to your life, why are they still sitting at your table? You can't build something extraordinary when you're surrounded by people who think small, talk small, and expect small. You need visionaries, encouragers, truth tellers, and protectors, people who see you, challenge you, and celebrate you without competition. And guess what? Sometimes that means being alone for a while. It means choosing solitude over the company of people who don't truly get you. And that's okay. In that space, you find your strength. You get clear on who you are without the noise. You realize that loneliness isn't the enemy misaligned connection is. The right people won't require you to shrink. They won't dim your light. They won't mock your ambition or minimize your pain. They will sit with you when you're broken and build with you when you're rising. They won't need constant updates to trust your journey. They'll know your silence means focus. They'll respect your privacy. They'll root for you in rooms where your name is spoken, even when you're not there to hear it. That's the kind of energy you deserve at your table. So clear some seats, rearrange the space, make room only for the ones who make you feel safe, seen, and inspired. Let everyone else watch from a distance. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them miss the version of you they once had access to because that version is gone. You're not who you were, and not everyone deserves access to who you're becoming. Set the table with intention, protect it with boundaries, and never forget your life is too valuable to entertain those who don't value you. In a world that constantly pressures you to speak, to explain, to share every detail of your life, choose silence. Choose power, choose peace, because the truth is, you don't need to broadcast your growth to validate its existence. You don't have to post your pain to prove your strength. And you certainly don't need to explain your dreams to people who aren't equipped to handle them. When you stop telling everyone what's going on in your life, you begin to live for you. You start moving with intention instead of seeking permission. You protect your peace by guarding your privacy, letting your life bloom in sacred spaces where no one can trample on your roots. You reclaim your power by embracing silence not as a sign of weakness, but as the ultimate act of focus and faith. And you take your seat at your own table, understanding that not everyone has earned the right to sit with you, speak into you, or witness your transformation. Let them wonder, let them question, let them talk you. You stay locked in. You build in silence. You rise in silence. You heal in silence. And when your moment comes, and it will let your life be the loudest thing in the room. Because when you've done the work, when you've carried yourself through storms, when you've protected your peace and honored your boundaries, you no longer need to tell the world who you are. You show them.